The Mummers in the Little Theater of the Air. Hermit, you're next.
Ghost stories, weird stories, and murders, too. The hermit knows of them all. Turn out your lights. Turn them out. Have you heard the story? The house on Lost Man's Bluff, eh? Then listen while the hermit tells you the story.
For heaven's sake.
What is it, Denton?
Gas?
Couldn't be, Charles. Denton filled up at the last stop. What is it, Denton?
For heaven's sake, man, how do I know? Well, that's that.
Ooh, I hope we don't get stranded in this forsaken territory.
Well, that'd be something, wouldn't it? We haven't passed a house in the last 3 hours.
Well, I might as well get out and see what I can do.
You want me to take a look at it, Denton?
No, I'll tinker with it a while. You and Nan sit down on the side of the road.
I might be able to find the trouble for you, Dan.
Charles was only trying to help, Denton.
Never mind, I say. I'll have the thing going in a moment. Do as I say. Sit along the road. I'm going to work.
Come on, Charles. Let's do as he says.
Just as you say, Denton.
Here's a nice place to sit, Charles. We can look right down into a valley from here.
Why, it is nice, isn't it?
See? You can look all over the valley.
Wonder what they call this place.
I wouldn't know. Oh, look. We're not so far from civilization as I thought.
A town at the lower end of the valley.
Yes.
Now, that's still a long way away. You see? The road takes a roundabout way along the rim of the valley.
Uh-huh.
Say, I bet that's where I'm going to work.
Do you think so?
I'll just bet you that's where the job is that Denton got for me.
Way out? Away from everything?
Oh, I don't know. Looks like a nice little town. I'll make out all right.
I hate to have you leaving us, Charles. I'll be terribly lonesome.
Oh, I'll get back to the city occasionally.
You must be sure to do that.
Sure I will. Man, Denton can't hear us talking from here, can he?
No.
I have a feeling that he managed this job for me way out here because he didn't want me living with you two anymore.
Oh, no, Charles. Why should he object to my own brother living with us?
You've got me there. I can't figure it out. When I first came to stay with you, Denton talked of getting me work close by.
I know he did.
Man, there's something strange about it.
I don't know exactly what you mean, Charles.
Yes, you do. Ever since Denton came back from that road trip, he's acted strange.
Now that you mention it, I think I have noticed something different about Denton.
He was jolly and friendly enough to me when I first arrived. And now, all of a sudden, he's changed.
Maybe we're imagining it all.
Doesn't seem that he'd be jealous of his wife's own brother, does it?
No. Denton's not like that.
But he has been for the last 10 days. Morose, sullen, sitting most of the time staring at me.
Maybe he feels I've been paying more attention to you than to him.
Maybe that's it.
It's only natural that I'd be solicitous of my own brother, whom I haven't seen for so many years.
Well, we won't talk about it anymore. All I hope is that he isn't ill, that you aren't going to have trouble with me so far away.
You said we mustn't worry about it. We won't.
No.
I do wish he'd get the car started.
He wouldn't let me help him. fairly pushed me away.
Denton's frightfully independent. But I wish he'd hurry.
Nervous?
I think we're going to have a storm. We should be getting out of these hills and down into town quickly.
Say, the sky is getting black and gloomy.
Look over to the west. Clouds are piling up fast.
Something of a wind coming up, too.
Denton just stands there looking at the car as if he didn't know what he was doing.
Maybe he doesn't. Well, let's go back over. Maybe you'll let me help him now.
All right.
Watch your step. There are jagged pieces of rock here.
The wind's getting stronger every minute.
It sure is. Looks like we might be getting a tornado. How are you making out, Denton?
What?
Located the trouble?
We should hurry, Denton. There's a terrific storm coming up fast.
Can't make the car go if it doesn't want to.
Look at the sky, Denton. We're in for a real storm.
Wow. There goes my hat. No use chasing it now.
Please, hurry. Get the car started.
All right. All right, get inside. Maybe it'll go now.
Let's hurry.
We'll have to drive like mad to get out of these hills and into the village before the storm breaks.
I know these roads. I'll get you out all right.
Denton, don't be so cross. Jump on every word Charles says.
Then don't give me orders.
Oh, look. The sky was lighted by the streak of light. Now look how black it is. Turn on the lights of the car, Denton.
Easy. You'll never be able to keep the car on the road with a wind like this.
What are we going to do, Denton? It'll blow the car off the road and hurl us down the hill.
Wow. That was a peal of thunder.
Denton, we can't drive on in this.
No, I know we can't.
What are we going to do, Dan? Can we sit in the car and be safe?
We aren't going to sit here. We're going to make for shelter.
But where?
There's a house sitting up there on the rock.
So dark I can't see it.
There's a house up there. I got caught in a storm the last time I was through here. Climbed up to that house and stayed until it blew over.
Can we get up there all right?
We can make it. We'll have to. Get out of the car. We've got to start right away. Hurry, climb out. Give me your hand, Dad.
It's in the middle of the afternoon and black as night.
Now, we've got to climb fast. We'll all take hold of hands and start up the rock. We've got to get to that house. We've got to get there. Give me your hand, man. Let's go. Hurry. Come on.
We're here. Are you all right, Ned?
All right. Knock on the door, Denton.
We don't have to knock. We walk right in.
What?
Hurry. Get inside.
Oh. Phew.
Boy.
What a relief. I thought for a few minutes we might not make it.
I'll bolt this door. The wind won't rip it open.
Who owns this place? Doesn't anyone live here?
There was no one living in it when I stopped on my way through here last time.
It must belong to someone. It's completely furnished.
Whoever owns it hasn't been here for a long time, then. Everything's covered with dust and cobwebs. I can see them even in this pale light.
It's so dark in here. Can't you find a lamp or something, Denton?
I'll get a light. There's one in this room off the hall.
Come on, Charles. Let's follow him. I don't like standing in this dark hall.
I found a lamp. I'll have it lighted in a moment.
Oh, it's so damp and cold in here. Ooh.
There. Huh. Light makes it better, doesn't it?
Some.
Maybe. I don't like the looks of this place.
At least we're out of the storm, Nan.
You stopped here on your last trip through, Denton? And there was no one living here then?
That's what I said, wasn't it?
But it's completely furnished. Surely someone lives here now.
Maybe they do. They aren't here now.
Almost like a dungeon in the room. Windows are built so high.
Something like a fort. But it's grand Denton knew of this place. Its shells were out of the storm. The wind couldn't blow this building over.
Denton,
What?
what are you staring at?
What?
You heard what I said. What are you staring out into the hall for?
Say, Dan, are you all right?
Don't clench your hands that way. What do you see?
Did I say I saw anything?
What's the matter with you?
Don't keep asking me questions. I've got you out of the storm. Isn't that enough? Now leave me alone.
Where are you going? Where are you going, Denton? Stop him, Charles.
Don't you think we all ought to sit in here? When the storm blows over, we can drive on.
What's wrong with him? He's moving like a person in a trance. Get him to come back in this room.
Are you ill, Denton? Is there something we can do?
Stay right where you are. Both of you.
What is it?
I'm going into that room across the hall.
But why don't we all stay together? It's dark in here. I don't like it. I want you to stay near me.
I said I'm going into that room across the hall. And I'm going alone. Your brother Charles will take care of you. You prefer his company, don't you?
Is that what's wrong with you? Why do you act this way toward my brother?
You might as well make up your minds. Both of you. That we'll stay in this house until morning. I'm going into this room to sleep.
Denton!
It's no use.
He is ill.
He's got it in for me. Come on. Let's go back where the lamp is.
Listen. You hear what he's doing?
Barricading the door.
What does all this mean? Oh, Charles.
Let's get back to where the lamp is.
It's as if he's lost his mind.
Sit down. It's been coming on him for some time. Ever since he made that last trip through here. We know that.
What shall we do? Why did he go into that room and leave us?
As soon as we get into town, we'll persuade him to see a doctor. Let's make the best of it now. If he wants to leave us and sleep, let him.
Oh.
It's tough on you, Nan. I'm sorry I brought you all this trouble.
Denton's never been this way before. There's something dreadfully wrong. What was that?
Is that Denton laughing?
No, it can't be. He's never laughed like that in his life.
It's coming from the room Denton went into. That's for sure.
He's going mad. Oh, Charles.
Come on. You'll have to let us in.
Denton? Denton, what is it?
Let us in. Dan, let us in.
Locked?
Bolted and barricaded.
Denton, please let us in. It is coming from in there. But it's not Denton. It can't be. Oh, what are we going to do? What shall we do?
Everything's all right now, Nan. He's quieted down.
He answered you the last time you went over to the room?
Yes. He said, I'm all right. Go away.
Oh,
I think he's going to sleep now. We might as well do the same.
I can't sleep in this horrible house.
Yes, you can. It'll only be a few hours before morning.
But what if Denton refuses to come out of that room in the morning?
He'll be better in the morning. The storm's passed over, too. Everything will seem different in the morning.
Leave the lamp burning. I'm scared.
Sure. I'll set it on the mantel. It won't bother our eyes, but it will shed some light.
Yes, that will be all right. You think Denton will sleep?
I think he's asleep now. I'd break the door down then if I thought it would do any good. But I think it's best to let him get over this spell by himself.
I'll never believe it was he laughing.
Who could it have been but Denton? Oh, now don't worry anymore. Try to get some sleep. If he calls out, I'll wake you up.
It seems like a nightmare, doesn't it?
It will in the morning. Everything will be different then. Go to sleep now. You need the rest.
Charles, wake up!
Huh?
Wake up!
What is it?
Wake up! There's someone standing over you.
What?
Wake up! There's someone standing over you. They're going to kill you. Charles!
Good heavens. What is it? What was that?
Oh, Charlie. He stood right over you with his hands reaching out for you.
Who?
And when I screamed, he ran.
For heaven's sake, who?
He was going to kill you.
Who stood over Charles ready to kill him, eh? The hermit will tell you before the night is done.
Now, back to the hermit.
Terror-stricken, Charles and Nan stand in the middle of the room in this strange house on Lost Man's Bluff, wondering who tried to kill Charles. Listen.
You mean you think it was...
I know it was Denton.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Denton trying to kill me.
I know it was he. With his hands reaching out for your throat.
Oh, no.
And when I screamed, he ran back into that room and closed the door. Charles, where are you going?
I'm going to get him out of that room before something really happens.
You mustn't go near him.
I've got to. No, you stay here.
Never. I'm going with you.
I'm going to make him let me in there.
He may try to kill you again.
I don't think he will. You stay behind me. Denton? Denton!
Denton!
The door's unlocked. Denton? Stay back, man. I'm going to light a match. Great heaven. Denton.
What is it?
Get back. Don't look.
Why are you closing the door? What is it, Charles? What did you see?
No. Denton.
Something's happened to him. Something's happened to Denton. What is it, Charles? Tell me quick. What is it?
Denton hanged himself. Keep hold of yourself, Nan. We've got to get out of here. Down into town and get the authorities here.
Denton. Denton, hang yourself.
Let's hope the car runs. We've got to get into town. The laughter again.
Look. Up at the top of the stairs.
What is it?
In this faint light, it looks like the figure of a man.
Yes, but you can see right through him. Disappeared.
Standing there at the head of the stairs, pointing at us. Then vanished.
That same laughter.
Charles, you're not going up there. We're going to get out of this place right away and get help. Quick, hurry, we must get help.
Well, I tell you, it's urgent. You've got to go up there right now.
Go up to that house on Lost Man's Bluff before daybreak?
Right now.
Oh, no. Not me.
But my husband is dead in that house.
Would never enter the door of that house at night. No, sir. Neither would anyone else in this town.
Denton is dead.
He ain't the first one to die up there.
What do you mean?
Ain't never heard of the house on Lost Man's Bluff?
No. We don't live around here.
Oh, well, that explains that.
What did you mean when you said that Denton was not the first man to die there?
5 years ago, a fella that owned that house killed his brother, then hanged himself.
What?
That's right. But hanging didn't seem to take him out of this world. Now, I ain't the only one that's been there, passed there at night and heard his wild laughter. It's fit to make the hair stand right up on a man's spine. Other folks tried to live in that house. But you know what happens to them when they go in a certain room in that house?
The room Denton tried to sleep in?
The desire to kill enters in them. And the laughter of him that belongs to the other world drives them mad. They can't get away from it. They return to the place.
Charles, that's what happened to Denton. He said he'd been in that house before.
They try to kill if there's anyone near to kill, and then they take their own lives. It's happened to 3 other people. One man got back to town and told his experience, but he went back up there a few weeks later and took his life, hanged himself. Oh, no, sir. You'll have to wait till morning. Won't get nobody to go up there in the night to that house on Lost Man's Bluff.
And the wild laughter from the house on Lost Man's Bluff continues to pierce the night. Don't ever go near it after sundown. No. Turn on your lights. Turn them on. I'll be back. Pleasant dreams.
All characters, places, and occurrences mentioned in The Hermit's Cave are fictitious, and similarity to persons, places, or occurrences is purely accidental.
It's not just an ordinary cane, my dear.
Alec.
It's a sword cane, see? Calhoun used it when he killed his wife, right where you're standing.
Alec, you killed Sanders.
Exactly.
And now you're going to kill me.
Yes.
No. Keep away from
I'm
me.
sorry.
Keep away.
My dear.
Midnight, the witching hour when the night is darkest, our fears the strongest, and our strength at its lowest ebb. Midnight, when the graves gape open and death strikes. How? You'll learn the answer in just a minute in The House Where Death Lived. And now, Murder at Midnight. Tales of mystery and terror by radio's masters of the macabre. Our story is a ghostly nightmare by one of radio's best-known mystery writers, Robert Newman. Its title, The House Where Death Lived. A large rambling house on top of a hill. A house whose windows are either shuttered or broken. A rusty iron fence surrounds it, and its grounds are waste and uncared for. A car grinds slowly up the hill, stops before the main gate, and two men get out. One of them is gray-haired but vigorous. The other wears a chauffeur's uniform. They push open the heavy gate, start up the gravel path.
Quite a joint.
You could hardly expect it to be a showplace after being empty for more than 10 years.
It's open.
Yes. Oh, I'm glad we didn't have to force it. All right, Sanders. You can go back to the car and wait for me. I should be out in about a half an hour or so.
You mean you're going in alone?
Why, yes. Somehow I don't think you're exactly suited by temperament for psychic research.
Okay, Doc. I'll be waiting for you back in the car.
Right. Now, let's see. I suppose the best place to start would be...
Good evening.
What? Oh, I'm awfully sorry. I hope I hadn't made a mistake. This is the Calhoun house, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, this is very embarrassing. I was down to see the trustees just this morning. They gave me permission to go through the place and told me that there was no one living here, that no one had lived here for many years.
As you can see, that's not quite true. Not that it matters. I lead a rather lonely life, and I'm very glad you came. I'd be more than happy to show you around.
Well, you're very kind. My name is Goff, Dr. Alexander Goff.
Dr. Goff.
For the past few years, I've been specializing in psychic research.
Oh, yes.
You've heard of me?
I'm sorry, no. But I do know that scientists, specialists in psychical research, have been interested in the house for many years. There have been several books written about it.
I read about it in the series of studies that Kinsey did. He said it was one of the most fertile fields for manifestations he'd ever come across. It has a long history of apparitions and hauntings.
That's very true. And now, would you like to look around?
I'd like that very much.
Very well. I imagine the best place to begin is with the cellar. This way.
The cellar. That's where Mrs. Calhoun was killed, wasn't it?
Yes.
Huh?
I keep the door locked now for that and for several other reasons.
May I?
No, wait, don't try to go down. Have you a match?
Why, yes. There aren't any stairs.
Exactly. That's how Mrs. Calhoun was killed. The stairs had become rotten, and Calhoun took them out, put in that ladder. Mrs. Calhoun didn't know it. She tried to go down, fell, and broke her neck.
But she wasn't just killed. She was murdered, wasn't she?
Well, that's hard to say. I don't think even Calhoun could tell you whether it was deliberate or not. For a long time, people didn't even suspect what had happened. They thought that she'd run away, disappeared. However, after she was killed, Calhoun buried her down there in the cellar. You see, over there, near that big flagstone.
Oh, I see. Well, after that, there was something about a gardener, wasn't there?
Yes, Burroughs. He had helped Calhoun take out the stairs. Considerably later, he was working in the cellar and found some bones, and he put two and two together
and went to the police.
No, he did a lot better than that, from his own point of view. Shall we go back into the parlor?
Oh, yes, of course.
I'll just shut this door again. There. Burroughs began blackmailing Calhoun. Calhoun paid for a while, and then one day he called Burroughs in here, into the parlor. He was sitting over there at that desk. He had his cane with him. The cane that's on the desk there now. You can look at it if you like.
Well, thank you. I would like to look at it.
Twist the handle and pull on it.
A sword cane?
Yes. He killed Burroughs right here in this room. That stain on the carpet, there's his blood. This time he didn't even try to get away with it. He called in the police, and he was tried and sent to an institution.
Yes, but that's what I don't understand. If Calhoun had committed 2 murders, why wasn't he sent to jail or hanged?
Because no one knew whether he was sane or not. As a matter of fact, I don't think Calhoun knew himself. You see, when they asked him why he had killed his wife and Burroughs, he said he had to, that he'd been told to.
Told to? By whom?
Well, he wasn't sure. By voices. He said they told him that they lived here in this house before him, that they had killed, and that he would have to kill too.
Excellent, excellent. Just what I've been looking for and what I've hoped for. A house with a tradition of hauntings, where each generation is affected by that tradition and adds to it. What's the matter?
They've come for me. They're weighing me down, dragging me back.
They? Who? Oh, you're ill. Here, let me help you.
No, it's no use. You can't pick me up. It's too much on my hands, on my head.
Where is he?
He was there, right there on the floor. I tried to pick him up and put him on the couch, but I couldn't lift him. Oh, now he's gone.
Oh, now, look, Doc, if he fell down, if he was as weak as you said it... Hey, wait a minute. Hey, what did he look like?
Well, he was quite old, about 70, and very tall and thin. He had white hair and a white goatee.
Holy smokes.
What's the matter?
Well, I was waiting outside for you. The guy that lives just down the hill came by, and we kind of talked a little.
Yes?
I told him you were inside here, and he described Calhoun to me, the guy that used to live here. And the old gent you say you spoke to sounds just like him.
But it couldn't have been. Calhoun is still in an institution.
No, he's not. At least not exactly. That's how this guy happened to talk about it. You see, he just read in the paper that Calhoun had died yesterday.
Sanders?
Yeah?
That was Calhoun's ghost.
Oh, now look,
It was, I tell you. It has to be. This is what I've been looking for years. An apparition that manifests itself without a medium or any apparatus. It's exactly what I need for the last chapter of my book. And I'm going to stay here until he appears again. Calhoun? Calhoun? Where are you? Why don't you come back? I'm waiting for you. Oh, it's no use. 2 days now and not a sign of him. Maybe Sanders was right. Maybe I did imagine the whole thing. Either that... Wait a minute. He didn't die here. He died at the asylum. He'd lived here all his life, committed 2 murders here. Perhaps the aura, the forces here, were strong enough to evoke him once, but not to bring him back again. His wife and the gardener, they did die here. If I could establish contact, I might be able to evoke them. Or else if someone else died here, someone I knew and someone that knew me. Calhoun! Is that right? Is that what I have to do? What? Who's there?
Me, Doc. Bandit.
Oh, just a second.
Oh, what a night. It's blowing like all get out.
What do you want, Sanders?
Well, the missus thought she's getting a little worried about you. She thought you might be running low on food.
Oh, no, I still have plenty. I haven't been eating much.
Any luck?
No, he hasn't materialized again, but I'm sure he will. I know he will.
If someone else died here, someone you knew, and someone that knew you.
Yes.
What's the matter, Doc? Hey, why are you staring at me that way? Doc!
I'm sorry, Sanders. Sanders, I was just thinking that if you stayed here with me, it might help.
But I thought you said I was all wrong for this kind of stuff. You know I don't believe in ghosts, anything like that.
Well, I did say that, Sanders, but Oh, this place is different. This is such a powerful, fertile field for psychic manifestations that I think if you did stay, we could cure your skepticism permanently.
Yeah? How?
Well, this is such a perfect night for an evocation.
I don't hear anything. Just a storm.
Listen hard. There it is again. It's down in the cellar.
Where's that?
It's back there.
Where?
Go ahead, run. You're quicker than I am, Sanders. Run, hurry.
Okay, but I still don't hear anything.
A man with an obsession in a haunted house. A man with a corpse on his hands as the clock strikes 12 for
Murder at midnight.
And now, to continue with our story. It's just a moment later. Dr. Goff is still standing by the open cellar door. Lighting a candle, he peers down to where Sanders' body lies huddled on the flagstones below.
Sanders? Sanders? I think I better make sure. Gotta be sure. What's this matter? Oh, what's this? Huh. Well, now, let's see. He's dead, all right. Very dead. Neck broken in 2 places. I'm sorry, Sanders. Very sorry. But science is a hard mistress. I've been working on my book for 7 years. This is the first chance I've had to make detailed and objective observations on a specific set of phenomena. And when Calhoun didn't materialize again, I'm sure you understand. The only problem now is the police. They're apt to be very uncompromising about something like this. There were only some way I could... I know. The car. It's quite late and the storm blowing. There's not likely to be anyone around. Yeah. Oh, come on, Sanders. You and I are going to take a little trip. Now, we're almost there, Sanders. Just a little farther. Now, here we are. Now, let's see. Well, you turned the car around before you came in, so it's headed downhill. Oh, splendid. Very considerate. Now, open the door and put you in. Oh, up. Just make sure you don't fall sideways. That you stay behind the wheel. Yeah, that's it. Oh, is there anything else? Anything I've forgotten? I don't think so. Well, let's take the brake off. And shut the door. And wait. There's no telling how far she'll go, especially with the street so bumpy. I only hope that she'll go far enough to pick up plenty of speed, so that when she does... she's swinging. Swinging to the right. Yeah. And now I wait. Sanders? Sanders! Where are you? It's been 4 or 5 days now. Why haven't you come back? Haven't you wanted to? Or haven't you been able to find a way? This is where you died, remember? Down here in the cellar. Are you down there? Sanders? Are you down there? No. Not down there. Not anywhere. What's that? Yes? Who's that? Who's there? What do you want, Gene?
I want to talk. Let me in here, please.
Just a second.
Alec. Oh, I'm so glad to see you, dear.
I asked you, what do you want? Why did you come here?
Why? It's been almost a week now since you've been home. Have you any idea how worried I've been? You didn't even phone me after Sanders was killed.
I'm sorry. I just never thought of phoning you. I had other things on my mind.
How did it happen, Alec?
You read the verdict of the inquest. He probably fell asleep at the wheel waiting for me. The brakes slipped, the car rolled down the hill, and crash.
Poor Sanders. Somehow I can't help feeling...
Feeling what?
I don't know. Perhaps it's this horrible old house. Everything about it is just plain evil. Oh, Alec, why don't you give it all up?
Give what up?
This obsession of yours. You started writing a book, doing psychical research to prove that there were no such things as apparitions or ghosts.
Suppose I found out that I was wrong.
What?
Yes, what would you say if I told you that I'd already seen one apparition here, and that I was expecting to see another one?
Alec. Oh, no.
Oh, yes, Gene. The first evening I came here, I saw Calhoun. I talked to him. He showed me around the house. And later on, I discovered that he had died the day before. I waited for him to come back again, but he never did. And I finally realized why. He couldn't come back because he hadn't died here. He had died at the sanitarium. But now, I'm waiting for Sanders to come back.
Sanders? But he didn't die here either. He died?
Yes, Gene.
I don't like it here, Alec. I'm afraid. I'm going.
No, Gene. Don't go. You can help me.
Huh?
Come on in here. Into the parlor.
But Alec.
Come on, Gene. Later I'll tell you a very interesting story about this room, about something that happened here a long time ago.
But all right, Alec.
That's a good girl. You know, Gene, I've just realized I've been very stupid. Calhoun couldn't come back again because he didn't die here. Sanders did die here, but he wasn't buried here. And now I'm beginning to think that a spirit can only materialize in the place where its body is.
But what's that got to do with me?
Dear, does anyone know that you came here tonight?
Why, no, but...
Good.
What do you mean? And what are you doing with that cane?
You remember I said I was going to tell you a story about something that had happened here in this room? Well, this cane played an important part in it. You see, it's not just an ordinary cane. This is a sword cane. It's what Calhoun used when he killed his wife, right where you're standing.
Alec, you killed Sanders.
Exactly.
And now you're going to kill me.
Yes, dear. I am going to kill you. And I'm going to bury you right here, down in the cellar where Calhoun buried his wife. Then at least you will be able to come back. No, don't. Don't try and run away. It won't do any good. You see, I locked the door.
No. Keep away from me.
I'm sorry.
Keep away.
My
Help!
dear.
Help!
Now, smooth up gravel a little. She's covered well. There. That ought to do it.
Very nice, Doctor. Very nice indeed. You didn't do quite as neat a job as I did, but you did pretty...
Calhoun.
Yes, Doctor.
You're dead. But you did come back.
Yes, I came back to tell you how grateful I am to you.
Grateful? For what?
For having, shall we say, relieved me. You see, there's a curse on this house. When I was alive and lived here, even before I killed my wife and Burroughs, I saw the ghosts of those who had died before I was born. It was they who made me kill, because once I did kill, they were free.
I don't understand.
Don't you? As long as this house stands, someone must haunt it. Until I died, it was haunted by those whom I had killed. When I died, it became my job. I thought it would be years before I could find someone to take my place, and then you came along.
You mean...
Yes, Doctor, yes, the curse, the evil that was spawned here has been passed on to you. Now it's haunted by those whom you killed, and I am free and can rest in peace. But you must stay here and live with the evil you created until you die.
No, I won't stay.
Yes, you will, Doctor. Oh, I didn't believe it either. I thought I could leave whenever I wanted to, but I found that I couldn't. I had to stay until they took me away. When you try to leave, you'll find out why.
But I won't stay. I tell you, I won't. Neither you nor they can make me stay. Nothing can make me stay.
No.
No. What's more, you're right about this place. It is evil. But I'm not going to let that evil continue. It must be destroyed, along with every stick and stone in this house.
And just how do you propose to do that?
I'll show you. With fire. This can of kerosene.
Oh,
that
no.
pile of lumber there.
It won't do any good. Take my word for it.
No, you watch. There. The whole cellar, the whole house will go now.
Yes, Doctor, but you won't go.
I won't. You watch me.
But you can't go without me, Doc.
What?
Don't you remember? You carried me out to the car. You've got to take me with you.
Sanders.
Yes, Doctor, your chauffeur.
Let go of me, Sanders. Let go. I can't take you with me.
And you got to take me too, Allie.
No, Jim. No. Let me go. Both of you.
You
let
see,
go.
now you know why I couldn't go either.
Let go.
What dragged me back and weighed me down.
Please.
Now you know why you're going to have to stay here.
I won't stay. I tell you, I won't. Not even if I have to take both Sanders and Jean with me.
I'm afraid that won't do any good, Doctor. You see, the ladder isn't very strong.
No! It broke. It broke. I'm trapped here.
Goodbye, Doctor. If you don't mind, I'll leave you now for good.
No! Help! Somebody!
The flames roar higher and higher as Dr. Goff screams and staggers backward. Far away, a bell starts tolling for...
Murder at midnight.
Remember to be with us again when death stretches out his bony hand and the clocks strike 12 for...
Murder at midnight.
The part of Dr. Goff was played by Barry Kroger. With music by Charles Paul, Murder at Midnight was directed by Anton M. Leader.
The sealed book.
Once again, the keeper of the book is ready to unlock the ponderous volume in which is recorded all the secrets and mysteries of mankind through the ages, all the lore and learning of the ancients, all the strange and mystifying stories of the past, the present, and the future. Keeper of the book, what tale will you tell us this time?
First, I must unlock the great padlock, which keeps the sealed book safe from prying eyes. Now, what story shall I tell you? I have here tales of every kind. Tales of murder, of madness, of dark deeds, and of events strange beyond all belief. There. Now let me see. Yes. Here's a tale for you. A dark story of two brothers. One of them killed because he could not help himself. The other one was interested in murder too, but in a very different way. The title of the tale is The Hands of Death. Here is the tale as it is written in the sealed book. It began in San Francisco on a night of thick, suffocating fog. A young man hurrying homeward turns a corner and bumps abruptly into a huge figure striding toward him.
Oh, excuse me. Fog is so thick I didn't see you.
It's all right. Tell me, do you live here? Here in San Francisco?
Why, yes, I do.
Do you know where Edward Morlock lives now?
Why, no, I never heard of him. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Wait.
But I've really got to get home.
I just want a light from your cigarette.
Oh, of course. Here, I'll hold it for you.
Just hold it like that. What is it? What's the matter?
Nothing. It's nothing.
It's my hands, isn't it? They frightened you.
No, it's nothing.
My hands, they disgusted you.
No, of course not.
They frightened you because they're not like other people's hands.
No, let go of me. Are you sure you're
You thought I was a freak?
Let go of me. You're crazy.
I'm not crazy, do you hear? I'll show you.
No.
I'll show you.
Phantom strangler in San Francisco, victim killed in fire.
So, the Phantom Strangler is at work in San Francisco. Jennings will be interested in that.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Morlock.
Huh? Oh, yes, Jennings?
The postman just brought this package, sir.
Oh, package, eh? Give it to me.
Yes, sir.
Now wheel me over to the window.
Of course, sir.
This is close enough, Jennings. This package, I suppose you noticed it came from my agent in New York?
Yes, sir, I did.
Then perhaps you can guess what's in it. Hey, Jennings?
No, sir, but I have no doubt it's another nice addition to your collection of objects having to do with famous murders, sir.
Yes, indeed. A nice addition. But speaking of murders, have you seen this morning's San Francisco paper yet?
No, sir.
Well, look at these headlines. Read them out loud.
Playboy murdered in fog. Phantom strangler breaks victim's neck. Then he's back. Your brother Kane is back.
Yes, back in San Francisco, looking for me.
And he'll keep looking for you. And if he finds you, he'll kill you.
Yes, he's dedicated his life to that purpose. And all because he feels I cheated him out of his share of the money our father left us. Oh, it's a great pity.
Yes, sir. Of course, we know the truth.
Quite so. As you say, we know the truth. However, I hardly think Kane will find me here.
No, sir.
So we'll forget about him. Jennings, tomorrow afternoon, a neighbor's dropping in for tea.
A neighbor, sir?
Yes, Inspector Tennant, the head of the local police force. He's coming to view my little collection.
Of course, sir.
He may bring a friend with him. So have plenty of everything?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's all. What are you waiting for?
Excuse me, sir. I wanted to speak to you about this check you gave me yesterday for my month's salary.
Well, what about it? It's for the usual 500, isn't it?
Yes, sir, but you see, Mr. Morlock, I've been thinking in these times I ought to have more.
More? Just how much do you consider your services worth, Jennings?
Shall we say 1,000 a month?
1,000 a month?
It's quite reasonable, I think. After all, if I were to tell the authorities all I know about your father's will, and how it happened that the entire fortune came to you and none to Kane...
Never mind, Jennings. I'll make out another check.
Thank you, sir.
But be careful you don't drive me too far, or you may regret it.
Oh, I think I'll be safe enough, Mr. Morlock. After all, confined to that wheelchair as you are, you need me.
That's enough. You'll get your check later.
Yes, sir. Very good, Mr. Morlock.
So you're getting greedy, are you, Jennings? I must find some way to discourage you. Yes, some way to discourage you.
The next afternoon, Edward Morlock, the strange, crippled collector of murder relics, enjoyed himself thoroughly playing host to Police Inspector Tennant and Mr. Norman Smith, a criminologist friend of his. He began by showing them his latest acquisition, the one that had come by mail just the day before.
And now, gentlemen, look.
A cashmere shawl.
Yes, but no ordinary cashmere shawl. Until last month, it was owned by two very old sisters who lived in a dingy house in Baltimore.
In Baltimore?
Yes.
You mean that's the shawl?
Exactly, gentlemen. That's the shawl with which the two old ladies were strangled by a sneak thief.
Well, I'll be darned.
It's a prize worthy even of my collection, which is, I flatter myself, the most complete of its kind ever assembled.
Funny hobby, I'd call it.
Every man to his taste, Inspector. Murder is your business, but it's my hobby. Now, if you'll just pull back those curtains there, the rest of my collection is on the shelves behind them.
These curtains?
That's right.
Well, I'll be jiggered.
This is most interesting, Mr. Morlock.
Yes, I knew you'd think so. Look there on the wall. An authentic headsman's axe. It was used in the brutal murder of the Baron de Morlaix, an ancestor of mine in the 15th century. And right there below it is the blood-stained dress worn by one of the victims of Jack the Ripper. And on the next shelf, you see... And so there, gentlemen, you have the highlights of my collection. How do you like them?
Well, if that's the sort of thing you're interested in, I'll say your collection does seem complete.
It is indeed. In fact, there's really nothing missing except perhaps a murderer and a victim.
What did you say?
That the only thing missing from your collection is a murderer and a victim.
A most interesting thought, Mr. Smith. And after all, why not?
Why not what?
Oh, excuse me, Inspector. I was just thinking out loud.
Oh. Well, I'm afraid we got to go now, Moloch. Eh, Smith?
Yes, you're right, Inspector.
It's been a great pleasure having you, gentlemen. And I do hope you'll call again.
Yes, Mr. Morlock, you rang.
Yes, Jennings. Before you help me to bed, I want you to mail these letters.
Yes, sir.
They are to major newspapers in San Francisco and contain a message to be inserted in their personal columns.
A message?
Yes, to my brother Kane. We used to communicate this way in the past.
But, what?
Here is a copy of the message. You may read it.
If the gentleman with the unusual hands will visit his brother in Santa Villa, he will learn something to his advantage. You're inviting him here?
Exactly.
You've decided to play safe, to trap him, and turn him over to the police?
Oh, that's clever of you, Jennings. Yes, very clever. But you've already proved you're clever, haven't you? Now just take these letters out and mail them, and soon, quite soon, I think, we shall be seeing my dear brother Kane again.
And now for the rest of my story, the hands of death, as it is written in the sealed book. After Edward Morlock had put into effect his plan to bring his brother Kane to him, he sat in his wheelchair and waited, seeming much amused at some secret thought of his own. One day passed, then two, then three, and then the newspapers carried strange new headlines.
Extra, read all about it. Phantom Strangler in Los Angeles. Extra, read all about it.
So Brother Kane was in Los Angeles last night, Jennings. He's getting closer. I shouldn't be surprised if he arrived here tonight.
I don't like it.
Oh, nonsense, Jennings. You know you've got nothing to fear from Kane. Unless, of course, you're so careless as to make some remark about his hands.
I know, but he intends to kill you.
I think I'll be able to control him. I want you to bring me a glass of milk. Kane is very fond of milk.
Glass of milk?
With a triple dose of sleeping powder in it.
But I don't understand.
Never mind. Just do as I say.
What's that?
I imagine that's Kane now.
Kane? Here, already?
Quick. I'll let him in. You get that glass of milk ready. And bring it in when I ring.
Yes, sir. When you ring, sir.
Oh, come in, Kane. I've unlocked the window.
Yes, I'll come in, Edward. Now that I've found you at last.
Well, I'd hardly say you found me, Kane. I sent for you.
It's the same thing. Now I'm where I can put my hands around your throat at last. I'm going to kill you. Do you hear? Kill you.
Kane, sit down.
What?
Sit down. I want to talk to you.
All right, I'll sit down, but you can't change my mind.
Tell me, Kane, how many people have you killed since you got out of the penitentiary?
7.
7 murders?
They looked at my hands. They were disgusted. I didn't kill them. My hands did. You hear? I didn't want to kill them, but my hands killed them anyway.
Why, of course, I understand. Your hands. Your great-grandfather had hands like yours, you know, Kane.
Don't talk about it anymore.
Of course not, Kane. But you must be hungry. I'll ring for Jennings. He'll fix something for you.
Yes, I am hungry.
But please, Kane, don't startle the poor fellow. You know, he's very much afraid of you.
Why? Why is he afraid of me?
It's your hands. He says they give him nightmares.
My hands give him nightmares?
Oh, you mustn't blame him, Kane. He can't help it.
My hands give him nightmares.
Yes, sir. I brought you a glass of milk, Mr. Morlock.
My hands frighten
Oh,
me.
thank you, Jennings. Just put it down here.
Yes, sir.
Why are you looking at me like that, Jennings?
I'm not looking at you, Mr. Kane.
You're looking at my hands. They upset you. They give you nightmares.
No, Mr. Kane, that's not true.
I'll show you. I'll give you a reason to be afraid of my hands.
Mr. Morlock, help me.
I'll show you. I'll show
Let go, you're
you.
kidding. Help.
There. That'll teach you to be afraid of my hands.
You can let him go now, Kane.
He's dead. My hands, they've killed again.
Yes, he's dead. Oh, you've been very wicked, Kane.
I didn't want to kill him. My hands did it. My hands, you hear?
You must be quiet now, Kane. You must rest.
I didn't want to kill him.
Here, drink this milk. Then lie down and rest for a while. We'll talk some more in the morning.
All right. I'll drink it.
I'll take care of everything. That's right, Kane. Lie back and sleep. Sleep soundly. So, you would blackmail me, would you, Jennings? And you would kill me, would you, Kane? But I've been too clever for both of you. Hello. Hello, police headquarters. Connect me with Inspector Tennant, please. I want to report a murder. And so, there you are, Inspector. Kane was in the penitentiary for assault with intent to kill. Apparently, he escaped since then. He's been seeking for me, meaning to kill me.
Good heavens, Morlock. Then he's the strangler who's been doing all these killings.
Yes, I'm afraid so. Oh, and I never guessed until he showed up tonight to kill me, because he thought, you see, quite wrongly, that I had cheated him of his inheritance. Jennings bravely came to my rescue, and Kane throttled him. Then I tricked Kane into drinking some drugged milk, and... well, there you are.
But Why, man? Why? Why did he kill all these people?
Because of his hands.
His hands?
Well, you saw his hands. Tremendously strong. Not hands at all, really, but more like demon's claws. Cain is morbidly sensitive about his deformity. When he feels someone is frightened by his hands, he kills them. Just like that.
God, it's a good thing we got him at last.
You can take him along now quite safely, but be sure to keep him well locked up, Inspector, and don't let anyone get within reach of his hands.
A few weeks later, Cain Morlock entered the lethal chamber of the state penitentiary. Edward Morlock, the condemned man's invalid brother, was one of the few spectators. Cain Morlock, with his last breath, cursed his brother and swore that someday he would be avenged. Then he died. The following day, Inspector Tennant and his friend Norman Smith paid Edward Morlock another visit.
Oh, good evening, Inspector and Mr. Smith. It's very kind of you to stop by tonight.
We dropped in to see how you were making out, Mr. Morlock. Thought maybe, what with your trip yesterday and the shock, that perhaps...
Oh, no, I'm quite all right, thank you. What must be, must be. You see, I'm a philosopher.
You have somebody looking after you?
Yes, Philippe. The Filipino boy is taking poor Jennings' place. Oh, and, gentlemen, that reminds me. I have something here that will interest you.
Mm-hmm. Something that'll interest us?
Yes, here on the table beside me. This jar.
Oh, a burial urn, isn't it, Mr. Morlock?
Exactly. And in this burial urn are the ashes of poor murdered Jennings.
Jennings' ashes?
Yes.
You mean you're going to keep them with you?
But of course, gentlemen. I was very fond of Jennings, very fond. What more fitting than that I should keep his ashes to remind me of his years of faithful service? Besides, well, I can always look upon them as part of my little collection.
Your collection?
Yes, Inspector. It was Mr. Smith here who pointed out that, complete as it was, it lacked both a murderer and his victim. Well, here are the ashes of the victim.
Great heavens.
That's rather a unique item, Mr. Morlock.
Yes, indeed, an item any collector would be proud of. But the really choice addition to my collection is here in this box, which just arrived. Would you care to look at it, gentlemen?
What in the world?
Oh, now you needn't guess. I'll lift the lid and, see.
Merciful heavens.
A pair of hands. The hands of your brother Cain.
Exactly.
I can't believe it.
But what is so strange about it, gentlemen? There are the ashes of a murder victim. Here are the unique and terrible hands that throttled him. Where in all the world will you find a collector who can boast such items as these?
You must be mad.
Morlock, did you plan all this from beginning to end?
Plan it? Mr. Smith, but how could I?
You're quite mad. We could never prove it.
You could prove nothing. Nothing.
Inspector, I think we'd better go.
Yes. Come on, let's get out of here before I do something I'd regret.
Call again any time, gentlemen. Easily upset, weren't they, Cain? Upset by your hands. Your great, strong hands that are going to become the prize items of my little collection. The distorted hands of a murderer. Ooh, how cold they are. And yet I can almost feel the murderous strength in them still. You wanted so bad that you close your hands about my throat, didn't you, Cain? But it's too late now. You're dead, and your hands are dead, too. Lifeless. Would you like to see how your hands look at my throat here? I'll place them there for you. See how nicely they fit around my neck. Just as if they... No! 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 Let go of me! Your hands! They're choking me! I can't breathe!
Morlock, what is it? Where are you?
Inspector, look. They're on the floor.
Good Lord. It's Morlock. And... No, it can't be. His brother's hands are clutched around his throat. They've strangled him.
the story of the hands of death as it is written in the sealed book. Edward Morlock was quite dead when they found him, with his brother's severed hands about his throat. But they called his death heart failure. For who would believe that two dead hands by themselves could wreak the vengeance that Cain Morlock swore to have before he died? And perhaps it was heart failure. Perhaps Edward Morlock, thinking he felt the hands move, died of sheer terror. You'll have to decide for yourself which is true. The answer is not written here. But the sound of the great gong tells me I must lock the book once again.
One moment, Keeper of the Book. What story from the sealed book will you tell us next time?
Next time? Are you sure you want to know? Perhaps my next story will be about you. For I have here all the stories that ever happened, and many that have not yet come to pass. But I'll find one for you in just a moment.
And now, Keeper of the Book, have you found the story that you'll tell us next time?
Yes, I found one. It's the story about a man who found the secret of immortality, of life everlasting, and how he tried to use it to make himself master of the earth. The title of the tale is The King of the World.
Be sure to be with us again next time, when the great gong heralds another strange and exciting story from
The Sealed Book.
The Sealed Book, written by Bob Arthur and David Cogan, is produced and directed by Jock McGregor.
Arch Obler's Lights Out, Everybody. It is later than you think.
This is Arch Obler bringing you another in our series of stories of the unusual. And once again we caution you, these lights out stories are definitely not for the timid soul. So we tell you calmly and very sincerely, if you frighten easily, turn off your radio now. a man and a woman in the Bronx apartment, and an evening you may never forget with the visitor from Hades.
So, all right, shut the window. A little quiet we'll have.
Want me to suffocate?
Suffocate. 42 years now I've lived in the Bronx. Do I look like I suffocate? Oh, come on, Dora. Be nice. We'll have quiet and we'll talk. All right. Yeah, better. So come, sit down, Dora. Come on, sit and we'll talk.
I don't know if I want to talk about it anymore.
Now, don't talk like something without a head. Why shouldn't you talk?
Good reason.
I'm sick of it. So, if you're sick inside, God forbid you see a doctor. If you're sick in the head, you talk to me. Who's better you should talk to than your own mother, even if only by marriage?
It makes me sick.
News you're telling me he makes you sick? Listen, darling. For 30 years, Sam's papa made me so sick even to look at him. I used to close my eyes like you close from a piece of dirt flies in your eyes.
He's good looking enough.
Washington. And not even Washington, but the president. Washington he has to run away to. A traveler in the family.
Not with me, he won't.
Not with himself either. Now, believe me, it's up to you, Dora.
Fighting all the time. If you knew how sick I was of it.
So bad at fighting and getting what you want, believe me. The door.
Yes, I heard.
Now, is it Sam?
Sam, at 10 after 4? Yeah, him and a bank president.
Mister in a hurry, whoever it is.
Just the superintendent. And he fixed the light in the bathroom. All right.
Sam? Dora? Is it Sam?
Yes, Ma, it's Sam.
Now, Sam, don't start anything.
What should he start? With his own mama he should start?
Ma, I thought I asked you to stay away from Dora when I'm not here.
Sam, I tell you, don't start that again.
Mama, answer me. Didn't I ask you to stay away?
Mamas who aren't welcome by their daughters in marriage I've heard of. But an own son who
don't get melodramatic, Ma. All I'm asking is that you don't see Dora when I'm not around. We had that understanding.
Sam, you stop.
Why should I stop?
All right. So both stop. I got a home. I'll go.
Oh, Ma, for Pete's sake, why can't you talk
No, I don't want to talk. I don't want to stay. Oh, goodbye. I'll talk to you tomorrow, darling.
All right.
And don't forget what I told you. New York is good enough.
Of course, Mother. Goodbye.
New York's good enough for what?
For you.
So she has been at it again. Dora, why won't you listen to me? She isn't right for you, my Ma.
Maybe I haven't heard that one.
Then hear it again because it's true. All her life, everything she's done's been wrong. My pa, he was a swell guy, but she ruined him and his business. The way she's trying to ruin you and me.
Little boy's getting excited.
Listen, she ran him and his life. What he should do, not do. She breathed for him, and pretty soon he was glad to die. Believe me, glad to die.
Stop yelling at me. The neighbors hear you all right, half as loud.
The devil with the neighbors. They don't have to stand 10 hours a day in that sweatshop. I do.
If you had what it takes, you wouldn't have to work for other people. You'd have a place for yourself.
I'd have a place for myself if you'd stop spending every nickel a week before I make it.
I got a right to live, have fun, ain't I? Can I help it? I married a dumb jerk, can't make a decent living.
Don't say those things, I warn you.
I said them yesterday, I'll say them now. I'll say them again. You're a jerk.
Dora,
stop big, empty-headed jerk.
Stop it, I tell you.
Your mom's right. She's always right. The only way to treat a jerk like you is to spend every cent you make just as fast as you make it. So you can keep on.
I'm telling you, Dora.
You're a jerk.
Stop it.
A jerk like your pa was.
Don't say that, my pa.
A jerk. You're mocked.
Dora, stop
A
it.
fat-headed jerk who never amounts.
All right, I'll stop you.
A jerk. Sam. Oh.
I didn't mean... Stop looking at me like that. I didn't know what I was... My hands... But don't blame me. Blame yourself. My pa. The things you said, you wouldn't have said that if you knew him. He was good. His face was so thin and quiet, and when my ma'd start in on him for nothing. For nothing, I tell you. His eyes were like a dog. You kicked. That's why I wouldn't stand here saying those things. Not about my pa. What you say about me, all right. I'm used to it. First my mother used to. Now you. but not about him. You understand? Not about him. Well, don't stand there holding your neck looking at me. Say something.
I hate you.
All right. And I hate you.
So much. I could kill you.
And I you.
Window. Done.
So who cares?
But a window broke, didn't you hear it?
I let him break up the house.
Oh, Sam. Oh, I'll go myself. Those kids. I told the superintendent to keep them off the street. If he thinks I'll pay for the glass, he's got to... Sam.
Huh?
Sam. Here.
What's the matter? What's the matter with you? What?
Sam. Look.
What? Oh, no.
Sam.
What?
Sam.
What do you...
Sam.
Stop saying my name like that. Over and over for the last 5 minutes. Why do you do that?
Oh. What?
I don't know. I don't.
Make it go away. Make it go away, Sam.
Yeah. My flat. You. What do you want here? Who are you? Get out of here. Do you hear me? Get out of here.
I'm getting out of here. I'm getting out.
No, Dora, wait.
No, let go of me. I'm getting out of here.
Dora, stop. Can't you see he's getting up? Don't move.
Sam already.
He's sitting down in front of the door.
If I could scream. I'm afraid the police. Sam, call the police.
Yeah, the police. I'll call. No, how can I?
Well, don't stand there. The telephone.
You stop.
Try. You've got to.
Right. All right, but walk alongside of me.
I feel so dizzy.
Just another couple of steps.
His eyes.
The telephone.
Quick.
Operator.
Silas.
Oh, yes.
Quick.
How can I until the operator... Hello, operator.
Tell her, Sam.
Operator, please get me the police, quick. Some came into our house that was something.
Sam, he's getting up again.
Police, operator. The police.
Hang up.
The police.
Hang up, Sam. You don't like it. Sam.
No, you're crazy. My son leave out of my hand.
Don't like it.
Look.
Oh, Sam, don't let him.
No. It's all right. Just stand quiet. Squad car will get here. A couple of minutes.
Couple of minutes. Like a couple of years. Oh, Sam, listen. Why can't we break a window, get the neighbors in, and we won't be alone? They won't be scared. They'll get him.
Please. I got my throat.
They'll go away. Come in, quick.
You say I should come in? All right, I'm in.
And the superintendent's kid.
Oh.
Hey, something's the matter?
Get out of here, quick.
Huh?
Don't stand there. Get out of here, quick.
Well, you said I could come in.
Go. Do as I tell you. Go quick before he...
Dora, wait.
What?
Let me talk to her. I got to.
Oh, gosh, what's the matter with you two? Look at me as if I was something in the stew or something.
Arlene, tell me. Keep your voice down. Why did you come in here?
I knocked first. Sure, did I knock?
No. Why did you come up here?
Well, my pa was busy. He told me to come up and tell you he'd call the plumbers. And they said they'd be over as soon as the agent okayed the job. So my pa said to tell you.
No, wait. That doesn't matter. What I want to know is...
Sam, he's watching her now.
Gee, Mr. Croft. Is she sick?
She's looking right at him.
Mr. Croft, what's the matter?
Can't you see?
No, I don't.
Oh, gosh.
You do see.
Oh, I'll say I do. Gee, will Pa be sore?
What are you talking about?
My Pa, will he be sore, that busted window?
Window?
He says it's bad enough the extra work he's got to do around here without climbing around putting in windows that kids break.
Don't you see?
Sure, I see. Gosh, you think I'm a dope or something? Well, I'll go down and tell my Pa. Oh, wait a minute.
Well?
How could the kids break a window up here in your flat? I mean, it's the 5th floor.
Oh, Sam, tell her.
Take it easy, Mrs. Croft. You don't have to tell me. So you had a fight and broke the glass. Say, that happens in the best regulated families. Don't say I told you, but last week, Mr. Bannerman,
The druggist found for her. He threw a lamp at Mrs. Bannerman and he busted.
Get out.
No, Sam, she can't.
Get out, I tell you, going out. Right away, right away.
I'm calling you if they yell me. Now you'll pay for that window, believe me. I'll tell my pa plenty. Sam, she could have helped us. You threw her out. Why? She could have helped us.
No.
She could have. He let her in.
Stop it.
If you'd have let me tell her, she could have
Stop
called
it.
the neighbors. They'd have...
Stop it, I
Sam,
said. Stop it. He gets
Sam.
restless when you talk so loud.
Sam, why didn't you let her help us?
Dora, because listen, and then don't talk when the cops get up here. The reason she couldn't help us, they can't help us, is it? Don't you understand? He was looking at her all the time, and she was staring right where he's sitting, and yet she didn't see him. You do know what I'm thinking. Maybe no one can see him. But you and me.
Now, just a minute, Mr. Croc, or whatever your name is. Let's get this straight. You never put in a call?
Officer, I tell you, look around you.
Oh, are you starting that line again? Mrs. Croc, why don't you tell me what's up?
My wife has nothing to say.
I'm asking her, fella. So you had a little fight with him, huh, lady? Then he got a little rough. You picked up the telephone, you hollered for the police. Is that it, lady? All right. Now, there's something screwy going on up here. I don't know what it is, but I'm waiting for you to tell me. Come on, Croc. It's in your face. Out with it.
You don't see anything?
I see plenty. You and your wife sitting here staring at nothing.
Nothing.
Listen, please. Listen.
I'm listening.
Take out your guns. Shoot him. Kill him.
Huh? Who?
There, in back of you. Square.
Dora, I beg you.
Hey, mister, what is she talking
In
about?
back of you. Look. Why don't you look?
Nobody in back of me, lady.
I told you, Dora.
You told her what, Croc? What is it?
I told you. Why don't you listen to me? There. Sitting there, staring at me. At you. Get him out of here.
That's it.
You see him. You do. Sammy sees him. He'll help us. He will.
You will, Sergeant. You will.
Well, sure. Why not?
I told you, Sam.
Yeah, get a doctor over here from Bellevue in a couple of hours.
Bellevue?
Well, take it easy, lady. Nobody's gonna hurt you.
Do you think that she's crazy?
Yeah, sure. And I might have guessed it. I'll be back in a couple of hours.
No, I'm not crazy. Listen to me. He's sitting there watching me, watching Sam. I'm not crazy. I'm telling you it's true. It's true. Oh, why won't you listen? Why won't you listen? Sam.
What?
What time is it?
About 6, I think.
Getting so dark.
Maybe if we could turn on the lights, he'd be gone. Yeah. Comes from the dark. He can't stand the light. I've got to get to the light switch. I've got to.
No, don't do it, Sam.
But
Sam, don't. No, if he touches you...
I got it. The lamp.
What?
The lamp behind us. If I backed up to it, grab the switch before he...
careful, Sam.
Just keep looking at him. I got it.
Oh, Sam. The light. No. Still there.
Dora.
What?
Dora. Or is he laughing at us? Are you asleep?
No, Sam.
Had your eyes shut. Must be almost 6. Yeah, it's getting light. Haven't stayed up all night since I was a kid. Yeah, I was 12, wanted to see what dawn was like, so I stayed up.
Sam.
Huh?
Sam. I figured something out.
Figure?
For hours I've been thinking. Something about his face.
Well?
His mouth.
It's just like yours. No, I'm all right, Sam, I told you. I've just been watching and thinking. Mouth. Just like yours. Don't say anything, just look. Well?
His eyes.
Huh?
I never noticed.
What?
His eyes. Like yours. When you're crazy mad. Look at his eyes. Dora, am I right?
I don't know. All I know is his mouth. When you choked me before. Your teeth.
Were they?
Yes?
Dora. What? The way the light shines. The left side of his face.
Huh?
You.
What?
You, when you scream at me. Your skin tight, like a skull. Dora, that side looks like you.
Sam.
I swear.
No, Sam. Like you.
What? What are you?
The other side of his face. All night I've been trying to figure. Sam, it is like you.
Part you? Part me?
Yes.
No, it can't be. It isn't sane. It's crazy. It can't be. How can a thing... I tell you, it isn't real. It isn't...
Sam, what's the use yelling it isn't real when it's sitting there?
You're not afraid at all?
No. I don't think I am.
Why?
That thing. Just the worst of you. And the worst of me.
Huh?
Oh, Sam, I'm so tired. Maybe I can't talk straight, but... that thing. Part you when you wanted to kill me, and part me when I wanted you dead. Don't you see?
I think I do.
He's getting up.
Yes.
Looking at me. Sam, I'm getting a little afraid again. Oh, Sam, quickly before anything happens. Tell me why you've hated me so much.
Well,
Tell me, quick.
Well, the last year, I worked so hard, it wasn't enough for you. Never enough. I couldn't figure out why, except you hated me. Why did you, Dora?
I didn't. I only... Yes, I did. Why shouldn't I say it? I've hated you ever since that night you lost.
What?
Remember? You ought to remember. A kid, you said? Not me, not in this lousy work. Fill the house with anything you want, but no kids, never.
So that was it.
That was it.
Why didn't you talk?
Talk? Don't you know yet? All my life, the things I really feel, I can't. I talk about them inside me. I cry. I hate.
Oh, Dora.
Sam.
Gone?
Yes.
How can it be? Gone.
Sam, go see.
Yes, I will.
Excuse me, Mr. Croc. Pardon me so early, but I saw the light under the floor there, and I heard you talking.
What is it, Superintendent?
Well, nothing, except I was wondering, last night my girl, Arlene, she came downstairs with all kinds of crazy talk about you and the missus. You know how kids are. I was wondering, well, somebody said cops came in the building last night about 9 or 10 o'clock, and I can't figure out where they went. Did they come in here? Did anything happen here last night? Oh, Mrs. Croc, I didn't see you standing there. Well, did anything happen here last night?
Last night?
Yeah. Anything happen?
Oh, no, nothing.
Oh. Oh, well, then, excuse me.
No, wait, Superintendent.
Huh?
Wait. There is something.
Huh?
There's a couple of windows to be fixed.
It
And now, tonight's presentation of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense. Tonight, the story of terror in the streets. We call it The Whole Town Sleeping. So now, starring Miss Jeanette Nolan, here is tonight's suspense play written by Ray Bradbury, The Whole Town Sleeping.
It was a warm summer night in the middle of Illinois country. The little town was deep, far away from everything, kept to itself by a river and a forest and a ravine. In the town, the sidewalks were still scorched. The stores were closing, and the streets were turning dark. Screen doors whined their springs and banged, and there was the sound of Grandma Hanlon's swing hammock across the street. On her solitary porch, Lavinia Nebbs, age 37, very straight and slim, sat with a tinkling lemonade in her white fingers, tapping it to her lips, waiting.
Here I am, Lavinia.
Lavinia turned. There was Francine at the bottom porch step. She was all in snow white and didn't look 35.
I won't be a minute, Francine. I'll just lock the door.
All right. Oh, I do like your dress, dear.
Why, thank you, dear.
You look so well in that color. I'm afraid I could never wear it. It makes me look sallow.
No, it doesn't. I'm sure not. Of course, I've always loved you in white.
Evening, ladies.
Good evening, Mrs. Hanlon.
Good evening.
Where are you ladies going all dressed up so pretty?
To the Majestic Theater, Mrs. Hanlon.
Robert Mitchum's playing in Not As a Stranger.
Won't catch me out on a night like this. Not with the lonely one strangling women. Lock myself in with my gun. That's what I'm going to do.
I wouldn't worry, Mrs. Hanlon.
What about Eliza Ramsell? You think she's not worrying? Lock myself in with my gun. That's what you ladies should do.
So silly. Silly old woman. Lavinia, you don't believe all that gossip about the lonely one, do you?
A lot of silly old women who haven't got anything better to do than talk.
Well, just the same, Hattie McDullis was killed a month ago and Roberta Ferry the month before. And now Eliza Ramsell disappearing.
Eliza Ramsell walked off with a traveling man, I bet.
But the others, strangled.
Oh, Francine.
They reached the edge of the ravine that cut the town in two. Stood there. Behind them were the lighted houses. Ahead, deepness, moistness, fireflies, and dark. The ravine had to be crossed to reach the movies, deep and black as it cut into the hills. Then a creaking bridge to cross over the stream. Then 113 steps up the steep and brambled bank to the other side. The ladies stood there, looking down.
It won't be me coming back tonight, Lavinia. It'll be you. Oh, I'd never walk there alone at night. Never.
Bosh.
Well, you can say bosh. But it'll be you alone on the path, not me. Oh, Lavinia, I do wish you didn't live on this side. Don't you get lonely living by yourself in that house?
Old maid loved to live alone. Come on, we'll take the shortcut.
I'm afraid.
Oh, come on, don't be so silly. I'll hold your hand.
Lavinia, cool as mint ice cream, took the other woman's arm and led her down the dark, winding path into cricket warmth and frog sound and mosquito-delicate silence.
Oh, let's run, Lavinia, please.
No. Why should we?
If Lavinia hadn't turned her head just then, she wouldn't have seen it. But she did turn her head, and it was there, back among a clump of bushes, half hidden, but laid out as if she had put herself there to enjoy the soft stars, lay Eliza Ramsell, her face moon-freckled, her eyes like white marble. Then Francine saw it, too, and the women stood on the path for a frozen second, not believing what they saw. Lavinia held Francine, and the policemen were all around in the ravine grass. Flashlights darted about, voices mingled, and the night grew on toward 8:30.
You, didn't move her, ladies.
Of course not.
Oh, no, we couldn't touch her. How could we?
And there was nobody? You didn't hear anything? Sounds, anything unusual?
No, nothing. It's the lonely one, isn't it? He did it, didn't he?
Couldn't say, ma'am.
We knew her, you know. She was a friend of ours.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'll have one of my men walk you across the ravine.
That won't be necessary. Thank you very much. We'll be all right.
Oh, Lavinia.
Come along, dear.
And they crossed the ravine, each with her own thoughts, fears. And the creek waters under the bridge whispered, I'm the lonely one. I'm the lonely one. I kill people. Then they were at the top of the stairs and bathed in safe light from the street lamp.
I've never seen a dead person before.
It's only a little after 8:30. We'll pick up Helen and get on to the show.
The show? Oh, Lavinia, you don't mean it.
Of course I do. We've got to forget this. It's not good to remember.
But Eliza's back there.
We need to laugh. We've got to pretend that nothing happened.
But she was our friend.
We can't help her. There's no good brooding about it. I'm going to get it out of my mind, and you should too. Now, if we hurry, we won't miss too much.
I thought you'd never come. You're an hour late.
Well, someone found Eliza Ramsell dead in the ravine.
Oh, no. Eliza. Who found her?
Oh, we don't know.
Oh, how awful. Did you see her? Was it terrible?
Let's not talk about it.
Oh, I really think I should lock myself in my house. I don't think we'd better go tonight.
Of course we will. It's the last showing today. Besides, the lonely one can't kill 3 ladies. There's safety in numbers. Anyway, it's too soon. The murders come a month separated. Come along, Helen.
Well, I'll get a sweater. You wait for me.
Why didn't you tell her about us finding Eliza?
Why upset her? Time enough tomorrow. I told you, tonight we've got to forget. We're going to the show, and let's not talk about it anymore. Enough's enough.
The ladies walked downtown and stopped at the drugstore, which was a few doors from the theater. Lavinia bought a quarter's worth of green mint chews, and the druggist dropped the mints into a sack with a silver shovel.
You looked mighty cool this noon, Miss Lavinia, when you was in. So cool and nice, someone asked after you.
Oh?
Yeah, man sitting at the counter. He watched you walk out, and he says to me, "Who's that?" Just like that, he says it. "Why, that's Lavinia Nebbs, prettiest maiden lady in town," I says. "Beautiful," he says. "Beautiful. Where's she live?"
You didn't give him her address, I hope. You didn't.
Well, maybe I shouldn't have. Oh, I didn't give him the exact address. I said over on Park Street, near the ravine. Kind of casual.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
What did he look like?
Oh, not much, I guess. Wore a dark suit. Pale. Kind of thin. Probably nothing but a stranger passing through. I'm sorry, Miss Lavinia. There's no charge for the peppermint.
Don't be silly, Mr. Briggs.
Well,
Here.
I know what we're going to do right now. We're going straight home. That man asking after you. You're next, Lavinia. You want to be dead in that ravine?
It was just a man. That's all. It doesn't mean a thing.
That's what I figure. Nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about?
I'm not going to miss the movie. You two can do what you want. I'm going.
Well, I think we should all go home.
So do I. She's right, Lavinia.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
They argued for 5 minutes, then the 3 of them went to the theater. Francine and Helen reluctantly, Lavinia head high, self-possessed, cool. In the auditorium, they sat in the odor of ancient brass polish, waiting for the second show to begin. And the lights began to fade.
about us. He was thin. I think he had a pale face. He just came in, and he's sitting behind us. What?
Oh, Helen. What man?
The man behind us. It's the one Mr. Briggs said was in the drugstore behind us now.
Oh, I'm calling the manager. It's him. Oh, stop the movie. Stop it. Put on the lights. It's the murderer, the lonely one. He's here. Put on the lights. Lights!
The drugstore clock said 11:25. They'd come out of the theater feeling new. And now they were laughing at Francine. And Francine was laughing at herself.
You see how silly it was. All that riot for nothing.
When you went running up the aisle screaming lights, honestly, I thought I'd die.
Oh, that poor man.
The theater manager's brother from Racine. Oh, Francie.
Well, I did apologize.
No. You see what a panic can do. And all for nothing. We shouldn't have stopped for sodas, though.
Wasn't that a wonderful picture? Will you ever forget?
The streets were clean and empty. Not a car or a truck or a person was in sight. The ladies walked under a flickering neon sign, buzzing like a dying insect. The sounds of their heels shot on the big pavement.
First, we'll walk you home, Francine.
Oh, no, I'll walk you home.
If you walked me home, you'd have to come back across the ravine alone. I know you. If a leaf even fell on you, you'd drop dead.
Well, I could stay the night at your house.
No, it's all settled. First, I'll take you home, and then Helen.
Lavinia, Helen, stay here with me tonight. It's late, and Mrs. Murdoch has an extra room.
No, thanks. I don't sleep well away from my own bed.
Oh, please, Lavinia, please. I don't want you dead.
Now, you've got to stop this. I mean it. I promise I'll call you the very minute I get home.
Now, will you? Will you really?
I promise.
And Helen, you make her promise you to call.
I will.
Well, good night. Be careful.
Now, I'll walk you home.
The courthouse clock struck the hour. The sounds went across a town that was empty. Emptier than it had ever been before. Over empty streets and empty lots and empty lawns the sound went.
10, 11, 12.
I don't suppose it's any use asking you to stay, Lavinia.
There's no reason for me to.
You've acted so strangely tonight.
I'm just not afraid, that's all. And I'm curious, I suppose. Of course, I'm using my head. I mean, logically, the lonely one can't be around. Not now with the police and all.
Did you ever think that maybe your subconscious doesn't want you to live anymore?
You and Francine, honestly, Helen.
Well, I feel so guilty. I'll be drinking a cup of coffee just about the time you get to the ravine. And, ooh, that awful bridge in the dark. You will call us the minute you get home, won't you? I won't sleep a wink if you don't.
I'll call. Now, good night.
Lavinia Nebbs walked down the midnight street, down the late summer silence. She saw the houses with their dark windows, and far away she heard a dog barking. She thought to herself,
in 5 minutes, I'll be safe at home. In 5 minutes, I'll be phoning Francine and Helen. They're so silly, like old hens. Old. I'm older than either of them.
She heard a man's voice singing away among the trees, and she walked a little faster. And then coming down the street toward her in the dimming moonlight was a man.
Well, look who it is. What a time of night for you to be out, Miss Nebbs.
Officer Kennedy. Oh, I'm so glad it's you.
Something wrong, Miss Nebbs?
No, nothing at all. I'm just glad it's you.
You know you shouldn't be out now.
I know. I've been to the movies. It is late.
Yeah, come on. I better see you home.
Oh, no. I can make it fine.
Moon's going behind the trees. Be pretty dark.
I'm not afraid of the dark, Mr. Kennedy.
You sure you'll be all right?
Quite sure.
All right,
Thank
tell you what. I'll wait here till you cross. If you need help, just give a yell and I'll come running. I'll check by your house later on my way back.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
As she walked away, she thought,
I won't walk in the ravine with any man. How do I know who the lonely one is? No, thank you.
then the ravine. She stood on top of the 113 steps, down the steep brambled bank that led across the creaking bridge 100 yards and up through the Black Hills to Park Street.
3 minutes from now, I'll be putting my key in the house door. Nothing can happen. Nothing.
She started down the dark green steps into the deep ravine night.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
The ravine was deep,
11,
and the world was gone.
13.
The world of safe people in bed.
16,
The locked doors,
17,
the town, the drugstore,
19,
theater,
20,
lights.
21,
Everything was gone.
23,
Only the ravine existed
25,
and lived,
26,
black and huge around her.
29, 30, 31. Nothing's happened, has it? No one around, is there? Remember that old ghost story you told each other when you were children? About the dark man coming into your house and you upstairs in bed. And now he's at the first step coming up to your room. Now he's at the second step. Now he's at the third, the fourth, the fifth step. How you laughed and screamed at the story. Now the horrid man is at the 12th step, opening your door. Now he's standing by your bed. What? What the... There at the bottom of the steps. A man under the light. No. He's gone. He was waiting there. Oh, but there's nothing. It's empty. There's nothing. Nothing on the bridge. Fool. It's that story I told myself. How silly. Shall I call Mr. Kennedy? Did he hear me scream? Or did I scream? Maybe I only thought I did. Then he didn't hear me at all. I'll go back up. Go to Helen's and sleep there tonight. No. It's nearer home now. Don't be silly. Wait. Someone's following me. Someone's on the steps behind me. I don't dare turn around. Every time I take a step, he takes one. Officer Kennedy, is that you? Is it?
The crickets were suddenly still. The crickets were listening. The night was listening to her. Then there was a sound. Only a woodchuck, surely, beating a hollow log. But it was Lavinia Nebbs. It was most surely the heart of Lavinia Nebbs. She went down the steps faster, faster, run. She heard music, in a mad way, a silly way. She heard the surge of music that pounded at her, rushed, plunging her faster and faster down, down into the pit of the ravine.
Only a little way across the bridge. Run! Run! Don't turn! Don't look. If you see him, you'll not be able to move. Just run.
And across the bridge, up the path between the hills, the top of the path, the street. And even with the light, the fear swirled about her, closing in, pressing.
If I get home safe, I'll never go out alone. I was a fool. Never again. If you let me get home for this, I'll never go out again alone. I promise. Please. Please. Let me. Please. Please, please. Give me time to get inside and lock the door, and I'll be safe. Oh, safe at home. Safe at home. Listen, not a sound. Oh, wait. I'll never get home. Wait. Oh. The window. Why, there's no one there at all. Nobody. There was no one following me at all. Nobody running after me. How silly. If a man had been following me, he'd have caught me. I can't run as fast as a man. I wasn't running from anything except me. The ravine was safer than safe. Oh, it's nice to be home, though. Home's the really good, warm, safe place. The only place.
She had just put her hand out to the light switch when she heard it behind her in the blackness. Just a movement.
What? What? Who is it?
Beautiful.
Suspense, in which Miss Jeanette Nolan starred with Paula Winslow, Eve McVeigh, and Bill Conrad in tonight's presentation of Ray Bradbury's The Whole Town Sleeping, adapted by Anthony Ellis. Next week, the story of a fishing cruise and bait that was a life insurance policy. We call it Over the Bounding Main. That's next week on Suspense. Suspense is produced and directed by Anthony Ellis. The music was composed by Lucian Marlowick and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Featured in the cast were Tom McKee, Florence Walcott, Tom Brown, and Will Wright.
Thursday nights, The Whistler brings mystery on the CBS Radio Network.
Phantoms of a world gone by, speak again the immortal tale, The Returned.
Jacob, there comes the hearse.
Poor Lady Ligeia. What a tragedy it was, Ellen.
Look how the village folks lie the street.
And look, he rides in a carriage directly behind the coffin. Poor Sir Charles. What will he do now?
Why, didn't he tell you?
Now, you know that you're his favorite in service.
Just the other night when I was taking him his late cup of tea, he said, Ellen, I'm going away for a long time. I'm afraid I'll have to leave everything to you and Jacob.
The whole of Glanville Castle? Did he say that?
He did. So he's leaving right after the coffin's lowered in the ground directly after.
How grieved he is. To think, 3 days ago, Lady Legia was laughing and dancing at the mall. And now they're putting her body in the ground.
Does any of us know we'll be alive tomorrow? It's not so strange. Accidents happen every day. She should have been careful not to go so near the cliff.
Oh, that cliff. I tell you, Ellen, Sir Charles should put a tall fence around it to keep folks away. It's that dangerous.
Look, the hearse is passing.
Look at all the snow-white lilies.
They were her favorites, lilies.
But you, Ellen, I haven't seen you shed a single tear.
Well, it's hard to. I don't believe she's really dead at all.
Whatever do you mean by that?
You'll not say I told you now.
Not a word.
And you promise not to be frightened?
Of course not. Whatever is it?
Oh, I've been saying to myself how much better I'd feel for telling it to somebody.
Then come, tell it to me.
Well, it's not that I mean she's not dead. She is, of course, but only last night, Jacob.
Yes?
I found some of the funeral lilies in a vase in the library.
Oh, well, what of that?
It was Lady Legia who put them there. Her ghost, Jacob. Her ever-living ghost.
Well, how do you know that?
Because I heard her wailing from the sea. Wailing for Sir Charles to come back. Now I've told you. And you mustn't breathe it to a soul, do you hear?
Not a soul, Ellen. Not a soul. Easy getting into the carriage, Sir Charles.
Thank you, Jacob. Goodbye, Ellen. Jacob, take good care of Glanville Castle.
Goodbye, Sir Charles, and please, sir, take care of yourself.
Yes, I will.
Goodbye, sir. We'll watch over the castle good and proper, sir.
I know you will. Go ahead, driver. Goodbye. I'll let you hear from me.
Goodbye, Sir Charles.
Goodbye, Sir Charles.
Sir Charles. Sir Charles. Run away. Run away. But wherever you go, wherever you are, you will come back to me. For all roads lead to Legia. To Legia. To Legia.
So, Ellen, I have seen the world. Nearly all of it, I suppose. And the months have quickly slipped by. It seems only yesterday I left you and Jacob at Glanville Castle. 4 years aren't so very long, after all. But this isn't what I'm writing to say. Ellen, there's one thing more.
It's by way of a surprise, a wonderful surprise. I won't tell you what. But have Lady Legia's rooms aired and cleaned, and prepare dinner for 2 on Wednesday. There I've told you without intention. My best regards to you and Jacob, Sir Charles. Well, did you ever? Jacob, he's gone and gotten himself married again. You mark my words.
Well, that's good. I hope he has. Indeed, I do.
Wednesday. Why, that's day after tomorrow. Jacob, we'll have to hire more servants. Now, tomorrow morning...
Sir Charles.
Ellen, listen.
Sir Charles. Come home. Come home.
It's her again. Lady Legia. Now you've heard it, too. She's been here all these years, Jacob, waiting for him to come back again.
The ghost. The castle's haunted by her ghost.
Now you believe me. Many's the time I've heard her crying in the sea wind, roaming through the big halls, her footfalls soft on the stairs. But I've never been afraid until now. Till she laughed just then.
Oh, this is a terrible thing. What could she want here, Ellen?
We mustn't let on we know anything about it, Jacob. Not to a soul. Come on now, it's late.
But, Ellen...
You see, Lady Legia's ghost cries for Sir Charles to join her. And now he can never do that, don't you see?
You mean, because he's married again?
Yes, and when the ghost finds out he belongs to someone else, what will she do? It's that frightens me. Come on now. Snuff the candles and close the shutters tight.
Yes, Ellen.